Welcome to Wrestling Talk in the Shop, where we will review wrestling memorabilia and talk all things professional wrestling straight from the wrestling ring.
Hey guys, this is Jonathan from Wrestling Talk in the Shop, and today we're going over the WrestleMania 2 program from April 7th, 1986. It was held on a Monday, a little odd day for a WrestleMania. Only one up until they started doing the two-day WrestleManias that wasn't held on a Sunday. And it was held from 3 different locations in Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles. And when you look back on WrestleMania, nobody really has any fond memories of WrestleMania 2. Probably the highlight of it to me was the boxing match between Rowdy Piper and Mr. T, which was a boxing match. It really wasn't a good boxing match. But it ended with Rowdy Piper body slamming Mr. T, and Mr. T won by DQ. All right, if you come this way, we'll look through it. Elvira was, Elvira was a guest commentator. If you remember, I remember Elvira. I had the biggest crush on her when I was younger. And here's some of the guest referees, guest timekeepers, guest ring announcer. Let's see. And here's a lineup of the card here. You had the main event, Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy, with Bundy being managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, and of course Hulk Hogan won. Rowdy Piper, that main event was held in the Los Angeles Sports Arena. Rowdy Piper versus Mr. T in the Nassau Coliseum, and Mr. T won with over disqualification with Joe Frazier in his corner. Then you had the Rosemont Horizon open individual over-the-top battle royal, and this is a rare occasion. The NFL players versus professional wrestlers, and the winner was Andre the Giant. Most of the time the NFL players won, but they, I guess Andre the Giant, they wanted. He never lost the battle royal, or that was his whole thing anyway. Then you had WWF Intercontinental Champion Macho Man Randy Savage versus George the Animal Steel, which Macho Man won. And that was when George the Steel was crazy over Elizabeth. You had the Dream Team, Greg Valentine versus Brutus Beefcake. They lost the tag team titles to the British Bulldog. And the other matches were Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus the Magnificent Morocco. And I believe that was a double disqualification. Terry and Hoss Funk, which is Dory Funk. I don't know why they call him Hoss Funk here, but versus Tito Santana and Junkyard Dog. The Funk Brothers won. Corporal Kirchner beat Nikolai Volkov in a flag match. Uncle Elmore, I never even heard of him, lost to Adrian Adonis. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, he beat Hercules Hernandez. Jake Roberts beat George Wells, and the Fabulous Moolah beat Velvet McIntyre. Never heard of Velvet McIntyre either, but I'm sure she was around. Let's see if I can turn the page here. Showdown time for WWF grudge matches. Bundy never stood a chance, but he was a big man Hogan could beat. And George the Animal Steel, he didn't stand a chance against Macho Man either. And you got the Dream Team, the champions. They lost the titles to the British Bulldogs. Then you got Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth over here, Captain Lou Albano and George Steele. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Hercules Hernandez, Mr. Fuji, and Don Morocco, Paul Orndorff. There's Adrian Adonis. His story will be told on Dark Side of the Ring next week. George Wells, I never really heard of him either, or Uncle Elmore. He was before my time, wasn't very big. Velvet McIntyre, never heard of her either. I think she was just a lady for Moolah to beat. Then you got over here Corporal Kushner, Junkyard Dog. He gained some weight there, looked more like the junk food dog. Then you got Terry Funk and Dory Funk. Hoss Funk is what they called him in here. There's Ed Too Tall Jones, famous Dallas Cowboy. He was tall too. You got the Refrigerator Perry. Nice shot there, Rowdy Piper and Mr. T. Clubber Lane in Rocky 3. He was right. This was right around the time Rocky 3 had just come out. You know.
He was hot.
King Kong Bundy. Hulk Hogan is the man himself. And here's the Battle Royal participants. You had Jim Covert. He was a Chicago Bear. He got a good reaction in Chicago. Bruno Sammartino. You got the Iron Sheik, Hillbilly King Tonga, Ted, whatever that guy's name is. Yeah, first man to bench press 705 pounds. Big John Studd, Tony Atlas, Hillbilly Jim. Then you got Harvey Martin, the Killer Bees, Jumping Jim Brozell, and Brian B. Blair. Andre the Giant, a true giant, who stands 7'5", weighing more than 500 pounds. He really looked good here at WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania 2. By the time we got to WrestleMania 3, you could tell he was going downhill a lot. Bret Hart and Pedro Morales. They advertised him at this time. He was the first man at this point to win all of the WWF gold. Then you got Jim Anvil and Dan Spivey. And there's a nice shot of WWF superstars. And I don't know why this newspaper clip's in here, but it's WrestleMania 3 winners. But there's the credits. WWF. But like I said, there was roughly 40,000 people there, and I don't think it went over very well. What? Roughly 40,000 people total attendance in all three arenas. I don't think it went over very well. You know, them having in Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles, and their production values by the time WrestleMania 3 had just really gotten a whole lot better. But anyway, we're going to review WrestleMania 3 next week. And sorry it's been a while since between 1 and 2 we've been really busy. And like I said, if you made it this far, human interaction is good for the channel. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.